Again, so we are just solving radical equations. So our first step is to get the radical part by itself. So we're going to add 5 to each side. So now we have the square root of x plus 7 equals x plus 5. Okay. So again, to get rid of our radical, we have to square each side. Okay. So again, the radical power cancel out. So we have x plus 7 equals, and then we are squaring a binomial. So we can't just distribute the power in. So we're really taking x plus 5 times itself. So we're doing x plus 5 times x plus 5. So that means to multiply that, we have to FOIL it together. So when we FOIL, that will give us x squared plus 10x plus 25. So now, unlike before, we were solving linear equations. Here we have a quadratic term. So if we have a quadratic term, we have to remember all of our rules for solving quadratics. So we need to move everything to the same side and try to factor. And if it doesn't factor, then we would have to use the quadratic formula to solve. Okay, so minus x and minus 7. So again, we're left with 0 equals. And then we're just combining our like terms. So that will give us x squared plus 9x plus 18. And then we need to factor. Okay. So two numbers that multiply to be 18, add to be 9, will be x plus 6 and x plus 3. So our two answers then, if we set each group equal to 0, is going to be x equals negative 6 and negative 3. Now in your notes, if you're taking notes, you should put a big star by this one. Okay. So we need to check both answers. Okay. All right, so let's start with our negative 6. I'm going to put negative 6 in for the x and in for this x. Okay, so negative 6 plus 7, so I'm going to check here, is going to give us 1. So we have the square root of 1 minus 5 equal to negative 6. So this is going to be 1 minus 5 equals negative 6. And 1 minus 5 is negative 4, so that is not a true statement. So that means negative 6 is our extraneous solution. And we need to check the other one, so I'm going to write another check here. So again, we're going to plug negative 3 in for both of our x's. So negative 3 plus 7 is going to give us the square root of 4 minus 5, and then equals negative 3. So we have 2 minus 5 equals negative 3, which is a true statement. So that means that x equals negative 3 is our only answer for this problem. Okay? So anytime we have to factor to solve, you must check your work to make sure that both answers are true. And if one's not, then we cross it off, it's extraneous, and we only mark the one that works for the problem. All right, so 7, we're probably going to run into a similar situation. So again, we're going to start by subtracting the 3 over. So we'll have the square root of 5x minus 1 equals x minus 3. And then we have to square both sides. Okay, so again, we'll have 5x minus 1 equals, and we need to FOIL, so x squared minus 6x plus 9. Move everything to the same side since we have the quadratic term. So we'll have 0 equals x squared minus 11x plus 10. And then we need to factor. So two numbers that multiply to be 10, add to be negative 11, will be x minus 10 and x minus 1. So our two possible answers are going to be positive 10 and positive 1. Okay. So again, once we have that figured out, we have to check, okay, to make sure that both answers work. So again, we're going to plug 10 in for both of the x's. Okay. So if we do a little bit of mental math here, 5 times 10 is 50, minus 1 is 49. So that means that we'll have the square root of 49 plus 3 equals 10. So 7 plus 3 equals 10. So yep, so that's a true statement. And then we have to check 1. So 5 times 1 is 5, minus 1 is 4. So square root of 4 plus 3 equals 1. So this is 2 plus 3 equals 1, which is not true. So 1 is an extraneous solution. So the only answer to this problem is x equals 10. All right, so again, we are going to cover just some more types of examples in the next video.